going on, everybody? Welcome into Tennessee Football Talk. My name is Joey Petersen. Appreciate you guys for tuning in today. Hope you guys are having some awesome time with family, friends, wherever you are, wherever you're tuning in. We appreciate you guys for being here. Merry Christmas Eve. We got a couple of things to talk about on today's show. We're going to start by talking about quarterback transfer portal, okay? On3 did a massive update of where the top targets lie, where they sit currently, and where their next schools most likely will be. A little bit of bad news on the Tennessee front on that. I'll tell you more what I'm talking about. We're going to round out with some good news, though, because it is Christmas Eve. We're going to talk some recruiting. David Gabriel Georges, Hayden Stepp, a couple of top prospects in the 2027 class have narrowed things down, and Tennessee sits actually at a pretty good spot for both of those players. Appreciate you guys for being here. Whether we're back in Dallas, Texas, in our studios, or whether we are on the road for Christmas, we guys got you covered no matter what, okay? So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Join the over 10,000 Vol fans that have already joined Tennessee Football Talk over the last couple of months. All right, let's talk quarterback transfer portal. We know that Tennessee most likely is going to pursue a quarterback in the transfer portal. We're kind of just waiting on what's going to happen with Joey Aguilar. We know that right now, he's trying to get an extra year of eligibility, but there's a decent chance that we don't hear back from his court hearing, or that his court hearing is not final until after the transfer portal opens and closes. So January 2nd is when the portal opens. I've got a really good feeling, and a lot of people do that cover this team as well, that if he does not know if he has an extra year or not by the time January 2nd rolls around, then Tennessee will go into the transfer portal to get a quarterback. Does that mean that quarterback is going to start in 2026? No, it doesn't, right? They got George McIntyre. They got Faison Brandon. I don't think Faison's going to start just because he's a true freshman, but they are going to get somebody, whether he's going to be the starter or not. So who's that guy going to be? Well, there's been a ton of rumors flying around about Brendan Sorsby, a guy that Chris Lowe and many other people at On3 have said that Tennessee is interested in. Josh Hoover into the transfer portal, I believe it was last weekend, I believe it was probably 4 or 5 days ago, and people automatically started talking about him in Tennessee just because when Nico hit the portal last year, Tennessee reportedly offered him over $1 million for what he was making at TCU to come to Knoxville. Regardless of all that, Tennessee's been connected to a lot of these guys. Well, Pete Nakos did a massive article on 3, latest recruiting news for a bunch of these top quarterback targets, and the bad news is Tennessee's not mentioned among a single one of them, which I don't think is a great place to sit right now. December 24th, portal opening in about a week and a half. I don't think that it's detrimental, but I don't think it's a great place to be in with the transfer portal opening so quickly when quarterback is something that you need. Now, maybe that tells you they're not going to go for one of these top targets, and that might be bad news in its own right. But Arizona State quarterback Sam Leavitt. Pete Nakos said the 3 schools that continue to be tied to Sam Leavitt the most: Indiana, Oregon, LSU. Miami was also initially mentioned, but it's unclear at this point where he is on the board for the Hurricanes. Okay, so Sam Leavitt, Tennessee not mentioned. Byron Brown. The clear early school here to watch is Byron Brown with Auburn. Sources have also mentioned Miami as another school of no Tennessee. Josh Hoover, the big one we've been talking about recently. The school to know for TCU transfer Josh Hoover is Indiana. Sources continue to indicate to On3, started 31 career games, and would be the 3rd consecutive transfer quarterback brought in by Curt Cignetti. It remains to be seen if Fernando Mendoza will enter the draft or return to Bloomington. Fernando Mendoza is going to enter the draft. I'll tell you that right now. How about Brendan Sorsby? Well, outside of exploring the NFL draft, the continued trend for the direction of Texas Tech the continued trend in the direction of Texas Tech. Sources tell On3 he's expected to command $3 to $5 million in the portal. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, if you paid Brendan Sorsby that much money, I don't think I'd be that big of a fan either, so I don't know how bad that is. Iowa State quarterback Rocco Becht, viewed as many as sources told On3 that Penn State's clear school to watch. That's not too surprising. A lot of people thought he was going to end up following Matt Campbell anyway, okay? But still, those are 5 quarterbacks, 5 guys we've talked about a decent bit on this channel. Sam Leavitt, Josh Hoover, Brendan Sorsby, even Rocco Becht we talked a little bit about yesterday. None of them mentioned in Tennessee. And again, I don't think that's detrimental, but I don't think that's necessarily where you want to sit at this point with the transfer portal opening up so soon. I feel like you at least want to be one of the mentioned schools with these guys. Like, you want to at least be somewhat in the conversation right now. Because think about it. LSU, they need quarterback next year. They're mentioned with a couple of those guys. Miami, same thing. They need quarterback next year. They're mentioned with a couple of those guys. Like, a ton of these schools that kind of sit in the same place that Tennessee does next year, they're mentioned. Indiana might not even need quarterback, and they're mentioned with a lot of these guys, right? They've got the little Mendoza. Curt Cignetti is going to have to decide whether he trusts him or they're going to go in the portal and get somebody else. But regardless, like, I don't love that Tennessee does not sit at a great spot with a lot of these guys. Now, that could tell you something as well. That could tell you that, okay, well, maybe Tennessee is not going to go after one of the big names. Maybe they're going to save a little bit of money, go after one of the smaller school guys that maybe isn't as attention grabby, maybe isn't as, crazy with the headlines. And maybe they're just going to say, you know what, we're going to roll into camp, phase on GMAC and this smaller quarterback. It's not going to cost as much money. They're going to go battle it out in fall camp, a little quarterback competition. I frankly wouldn't mind that. I don't think that would be a terrible, terrible thing. But I also do believe that you need to get some guy you at least feel confident in that can run this offense and be a starting quarterback. I always thought that was Josh Hoover. I felt like he was going to be a great option because he'd fit with Heupel. He's played a ton of college football, has a great deep ball. And of these guys, I think he'd be on the cheaper side of the top targets. But, man, as we sit right now, December 24th, don't love the fact that Tennessee really is not in a great place or a top school mention with a lot of those guys. Now, that could change on a dime. I'm not saying it's the end-all, be-all, but I am saying I would like to at least be mentioned among the top prospects. That's just kind of how I feel. To round some things out with some good news, bring a little bit of Christmas cheer to y'all's Christmas Eve. They're at a good spot in recruiting for 2027. David Gabriel-Georges, 5-star running back, put his schools down to his top 8. Tennessee is mentioned in that top 8. I don't think that's too surprising, right? I think that a lot of people, myself included, kind of expected to be in that top 8. Heck, if he's going to make a top 3, I would expect Tennessee to be in that top 3 as well. We all know at this point it's kind of just a 2-team race. Like, it feels like it's kind of just going to be Tennessee or Ohio State. But it's great to see you made the top 8. We've talked about him a decent bit, that he's priority number 1, 2, and 3 for the Tennessee Volunteers when it comes to the 2027 class. They rounded out the 2026 class. They didn't add a running back. Now, I'm not going to say it was a big need, not super necessary. If it was, they would have added one. They've got Deshaun Bishop next year. But you not adding a running back this year means you've pretty much got to add one in the 2025 class, and they would add a guy that could play college football right now. There are some rumors even about David Gabriel-Georges reclassifying and 2026 coming out. Obviously, that didn't come to fruition. That didn't happen. He's going to go play again for Baylor, probably win another state title there. Regardless, you're in a good spot with him. Hayden Stepp, which is who is a 5-star cornerback. He brought his made his top 5, and Tennessee has made that top 5, right? Alabama also is in there. Oregon, Clemson, and Miami. That's a pretty awesome top 5. The reason is he's a top 25 recruit. Now, the funny thing is like there's no real regional ties there because he plays at Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas. Okay. So it's not like it'd be that big of a, it's not like Tennessee would be a bigger move than any of those other schools. But I think for 5-star quarterbacks, top 25 players at this point, if you're in their top 5, you're sitting in a really good spot. That's going to do it for today's show. Going to go enjoy the rest of Christmas with my family. Hope you guys are doing the same. And we'll be back tomorrow. Transfer portal targets. And then we'll be back, of course, for the rest of this week. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. Appreciate you guys just for all the support you guys give me. The best Christmas present I could ask for is each and every one of you guys. So enjoy your time, and we'll see you tomorrow.